Good day everyone, I'm Michelle B. Cultura, summing up about curriculum development. What is curriculum? So curriculum is a total guided learning experience designed to facilitate learners' learning for establishing quality relationship between what is learned and what operates outside the school. The curriculum includes the aims, objectives, teaching content, teaching strategies, assessment methods, and the other components of learning and teaching in classrooms. Curriculum is comprehensive overview of what students should learn and how they will learn it and what role the instructor is playing and the framework in which learning and teaching will take place. Curriculum development is defined as planned, purposeful, progressive, and systematic process in order to create the positive improvements in the educational system. So the development of an effective curriculum is a multi-step, ongoing, and cyclical process. So cyclical process is a process the process progresses from evaluating the existing programs to implementing a new program and back to evaluating the revised program. So foundations are the forces that influence the minds of the curriculum developers. It affects the content and structure of the curriculum. The curriculum reflects the society and culture of a country, and it is the desire of a society that their children should learn the habits, ideas, attitudes, and skills of the adult society and culture, and educational institutions are the proper way to impart these skills. And the duty of teacher and school is to discipline the young children to the society and provide them with a set of experiences in the form of curriculum. The needs, knowledge, and informative of the society provides foundation in the formation of curriculum. So there are major foundations of curriculum. 1. The philosophical foundation. 2. Psychological foundation. And 3 is sociological foundation. Educators, curriculum makers, and teachers have espoused a philosophy or philosophies that are deemed necessary for planning, implementing, and evaluating a school curriculum. The philosophy that they have embraced will help them define the purpose of the school, the important subjects to taught, and the kind of learning students must have and how they can acquire them, the instructional materials, methods, and strategies to be used, and how students will be evaluated. Philosophy offers solution to our problems by helping the administrators, curriculum planners, and teachers to make sound decisions. A person's philosophy reflects his or her life experiences, social and economic background, and common beliefs and education. So there are 4 educational philosophies: the idealism, realism, pragmatism, and existentialism. So idealism is a philosophical approach that gives importance to the ideas. According to the idealism, ideas are the one true reality, the one thing worth knowing. Plato, father of idealism, believed that there are 2 words, knowledge. The first is the spiritual or mental world, which is eternal, permanent, orderly, and regular, and universe. The a priori knowledge. There is also the world of appearance, the world experienced through sight, touch, smell, taste, and sound. That is changing, imperfect, and disorderly. The post-prioric knowledge. The idealism, the aim of education is to discover and develop each individual's abilities and full moral excellence in order to better serve society. While developing curriculum, idealists give more importance to thoughts, feelings, ideas, and values rather than to the child and his activities. They firmly hold that curriculum should be concerned with the whole humanity and its experiences, since the main aim of education, according to the philosophy of idealism, is to preserve and advance the culture of human race. So subjects like religion, ethics, philosophy, history, literature, and etc. should be provided in the curriculum. Healthy mind is found in healthy body only. So health, hygiene, games, and sports should also find an important place in the curriculum. Idealism assigns a special role to the teacher. It considers teacher as a spiritual guide for the child. He sets the environment in which education takes place. He carries, he, perf- he carries the child from darkness to light. He is to guide the student towards utmost possible garden. The teacher is a cautious gardener and the children is a tender plant. The plant can grow, no doubt, without help, but the good gardener sees that the plant grows to the finest possible perfection. Through teachers' guidance, the child can make his natural development into a process leading to perfection and beauty. Teaching methods focus on handling ideas through lecture, discussion, Socratic dialogue, a method of teaching that uses questioning to help the students discover and clarify knowledge, and introspection, intuition, and insight. These methods are used to bring the consciousness, the forms of concepts which are latent in the mind of the children. Next is realism. Aristotle is credited with the development of realism. Realism is about viewing the world in terms of what a person experiences through their senses. This is almost the opposite of idealism, and it focuses on the mind. Realists focus on experiencing things through experiences. Realism is not based on a pan-perception of the individuals, but is an objective reality based on reason and science. Realism represents theory that particular things exist independently of our perception. So there are aims of realist education. 1. Preparation of a good life. 2. Preparation for a real life of a material world. 3. Development of physical and mental powers. 4. Development of senses. 5. Imparting vocational knowledge and skills. 6. Development of character and enabling the child to adjust with the environment. Realist curriculum is wanted to include those subjects and activities which would prepare the children for actual day-to-day living. They give primary place to nature, science, and vocational subjects, whereas secondary place to arts, literature, biography, philosophy, psychology, and morality. They also lead stress upon the teaching of mother tongue as the foundation of all development, which is necessary for reading, writing, and social interaction, but not for literary purposes. There are realist methods of teaching. 1. Emphasis on critical reasoning and through observation. 2. Mastery of facts. The recitation, experimentation, demonstration, drills, exercises. Education should proceed from simple to complex and from concrete to abstract. It enhances learning through direct and indirect experiences like field trips, lectures, films, TV, audiovisual aids, computer technology, and library. Children also should be given positive rewards. The role of teacher and realism. Under this, the realistic school, the teacher must be a scholar and his duty is to guide the children towards the hardcore realities of life. He must expose them to the problems of life and the world around. The teachers should have full knowledge of the content and needs of the children, and the teacher should also inspire the children to undertake close observation and experiment for finding out of new facts and principles. Next is pragmatism. The term pragmatism derives its original from the Greek word meaning to do and to accomplish. For pragmatists, only those things that are experienced, observed, are real. The focus of pragmatism is on the reality of experience. Unlike the realist, pragmatists believe that reality is constantly changing and will learn best through the applying and experiences and thoughts of problems as they arises. To pragmatism, the aim of education is to provide dynamic direction and guidance to the child according to his natural interests, aptitudes, and capacities in the field of academic activities that he grows up and develops more and endowed with capacities to confront the ever-changing problems and challenges of modern life successfully, achieving a happier, a better, and a richer life. For this, education should develop such dynamic, flexible and adaptable mind which is always resourceful and enterprising and is able to create new values for a known future. The curriculum must grow out of child's interest, experience, impulses, and needs. The curriculum must be child-centered. Pragmatists stress that school subjects should be woven around the child's activities. The curriculum should be flexible, useful, experimental, and life-related. So the methods of teaching are learning by doing, collective approach, integrated approach, individual approach, role of teacher. The teacher works as friend, philosopher, and guide to be students. He should have the capacity to know the interest of the students. He should understand the conditions and situations of changing society. He puts forth problems for the students to be solved according to their interest. He also creates situations to develop social interest and habits for welfare of the society. Next is existentialism. Existentialism is a philosophy concerned with finding self and the meaning of life through free will, choice, and personal responsibility. The belief is that people are searching to find out who and what they are throughout life as they make choices based on their experiences, beliefs, and outlook. It emphasizes individual existence, freedom, and choice. It is the view that humans define their own meaning in life and try to make rational decisions despite existing in an irrational universe. The main identifiable common proposition in that existence precedes essence. By this, existentialism states that man exists, and in that existence, man defines himself and the world in his own subjectivity and wanders between choice, freedom, and existential. So the methods of education are follows. Progressive schools are what existentialists espouse. Children are individuals. No two children are alike. Therefore, they are going to learn differently. Education should accommodate these needs and students should be encouraged to do things because they want to do them. According to Kramer and Usman, there should be freedom of choice, spontaneous play, open expression of feelings, and student participation in the democratic control over community life in the school. There should be diversity in the curriculum and in the manner in which things are taught. Teachers should treat students humanly as people, not objects. A relationship should be developed between the student and the teacher in order to promote the goals of education. Existentialists believe that the authority or control method of teaching tends to prohibit the attainment of knowledge. So, next is the role of learners. The role of learner is to freely choose what subjects they want to study as long as they are interested in it, to define their own essence or meaning of life. So, the curriculum of existentialist consists of experiences and subjects that lend themselves to philosophical dialogue and acts as choice making because the choice is personal and subjective. Composed of fine arts, drama, creative expression, literature, and philosophy. Vocational education is seen more as means of teaching students about themselves and their potential than that of earning a livelihood. The curriculum should include self-expressing activities, experimentation, and methods of media that illustrate emotional feelings and insight. Students, parents, educators, research community members, business, community government officials, pressure groups, professional organizations, governing bodies. No two persons are alike. Major theories of learning of behaviorism, which deals with various aspects of stimulus, response, and reinforcement scheme. Cognitism, which views the learners in relationship with the total environment. So in behaviorism gives importance to the explicit behavior by conditioning the mind. Studies conditioning, modifying, or shaping behavior through reinforcement and rewards. Behaviorism in curriculum includes careful analyzing and sequencing of the learner's needs and behaviors. Rely on step-by-step structured methods of learning. Curriculum should be organized so students master the subject matter. The key theorists of behaviorism is Thorndike, Pavlov, and Skinner, and Bandura. So cognitism. The cognitism gives importance to the brain with the help of reflection and logical reasoning. It focuses on how individuals process information. It emphasis on memory and on how to enhance learning. Learner is the key player. Cognitive approach constitutes logical method for organizing and interpreting learning. Students should not be afraid to ask, not to be afraid of being wrong, not to be afraid of pleasing the teacher, and not to be afraid of taking rest and playing with ideas. So in the key theories of Piaget and Vygotsky and Bloom's taxonomy, the role of teacher in behaviorism and cognitism. The teacher should teach keeping in mind the nature of the learners, pace of the learners, and their background and perspective. Teachers has to promote the learner's intrinsic motivation so that the actual learning occurs. Nieri, 2003, describes the technical scientific model as the product model, which emphasizes plans and intentions. The curriculum developer prioritizes what the students will be learning from the specific subject matter and the explicit goals and objectives the students must achieve. The focus is on knowledge acquisition and what knowledge is most important for the students to gain. The curriculum is structured in a step-by-step manner to optimize students' learning and to allow them to increase their output. The curriculum is designed with a time frame when these goals and objectives are to be achieved. It is very teacher-centric and focuses on content-structured assessment tools. Two of the early leading components of the technical scientific approach to the curriculum development were Ralph Tyler and Hilda Tabaf. The Tyler model, Ralph Tyler, a well-known proponent of the technical scientific approach, discussed four basic principles in curriculum development in his book Basic Principles of Curriculum and Instruction, published in 1949. Tyler stated his curriculum rationally in terms of four questions that he argued must be answered in developing any curriculum and plan of instructions. Educational objectives originate from three sources. These tentative objectives from the three sources are filtered through two screens. This results in the final set of educational objectives. First, what educational purposes should the school seek to attend? Philosophy of the school's psychology of learning, society, learners, subject makers. So, learning experience. Learning experiences were to be selected in the light of what educators know about learning and development. What educational experiences can be provided that are likely to attend these purposes? Previous experience learners' perception. Tyler emphasized that the ordering of experiences had to be somehow systematic so as to produce a maximum cumulative effect. Organizing elements such as ideas, concepts, values, and skills should be woven threads in the curriculum fabric. With the help of these case elements, the students could relate different learning experiences among different subjects. Generally, we arrange educational experiences from the most general to specific, example from the easiest to the hardest. How can the educational experiences be organized? Evaluation is the process for determining to what extent the educational objectives are being realized by the curriculum. Thus, according to Tyler, curriculum evaluation is the process of matching initial expectations in the form of behavioral objectives with outcomes achieved by the learner. So, how can we determine whether these purposes are being attained? The TABA model, Helda TABA promotes the down-to-top model or grassroots approach. She believed that the curriculum should be designed by the users as a program. Example, the teachers. She advocated that teachers take an inductive approach to curriculum development, starting with the specifics and building to a general curriculum design. Taba noted 7 major steps to her grassroots model in which teachers would have major inputs. 1. Diagnosis of needs. 2. Formulation of objectives. 3. Selection of content. 4. Organization of content. 5. Selection of the learning experiences. 6. Organization of learning activities. And the last one is 7. Evaluation and means of evaluation. Curriculum development is subjective, personal, aesthetic, heuristic, transactional, logical approach in student-centered with emphasis on the learners rather than the output. It has a holistic view of learning. It takes the view that the formal assessments do not measure the accomplishments of the curriculum. This approach considers that not all the educational goals can be known and the curriculum should be evolved rather than be precisely planned. It emphasizes on active rather than passive approach to learning. Non-technical scientific approach to curriculum development is process model that concentrates the activities and the effects of the activities. There is also a weighing of student choice and life and social skills. It is based on the activity curriculum. It did not support the formal preparation of plans before the learner's arrival. Teachers are actively engaged, whereas the learners are passive. Herbert Cole said that pupils can make choices and pursue what interests them. The best thing that works for the students are the unplanned and spontaneous ones because of their sudden perceptions. So that's all for the curriculum development. Thank you for watching.